Have you ever noticed people who move through the world as if they're trying not to be seen? They don't interrupt. They don't ask for attention. They don't take up space. They soften their voice before speaking. They read the room before breathing. They apologize for feelings they haven't even expressed yet. It's not that they lack depth. It's that they learned early on that being visible felt unsafe. So they shrink themselves quietly, carefully, believing that being low maintenance is the price of being tolerated. If you look closely, you'll notice it in their hesitation, in the pause before they speak, in the sadness behind their calm. These are not shy people. These are not weak people. These are often adults who learned, as children, that their emotions didn't matter. And the hardest part? Their loneliness didn't begin in adulthood. It began in the very place that was supposed to feel like home. But what if the most damaging wounds leave no marks at all? And what if that invisible pain shaped everything they became? When most people hear the word neglect, they picture something obvious: a child left behind, a home without food, a need openly denied. But emotional neglect doesn't announce itself. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It lives in the moments that didn't happen. The times a child felt afraid and no one noticed. The moments they cried and no one asked why. The excitement they felt when no one mirrored their joy. Nothing extreme, nothing dramatic, just a quiet pattern of being emotionally alone. Because there was no single event to blame. The child does something instinctive. They turn inward. It must be me. My feelings are too much. Or maybe they don't matter at all. So they adapt. They stop reaching for comfort. They stop trusting their emotions. They learn to survive by staying silent. And what begins as a coping strategy slowly becomes an identity. But silence doesn't fade with time. It grows roots and follows them into adulthood. By the time these children grow up, they look okay, functional, capable, even impressive. But what you see on the outside is rarely the whole story. Some become perfectionists, always achieving, always pushing, hoping that excellence will finally earn the attention they never received. Others become invisible, quiet, agreeable, easy to overlook, believing that taking up space is dangerous. And some become guarded or rebellious, pushing people away before closeness has the chance to disappoint them. Different behaviors, same wound. Inside them lives a question they almost never say out loud. If I disappeared, would anyone truly feel it? They may have people around them. They may not be alone, yet they feel deeply disconnected. Because their loneliness isn't about the absence of people. It's about the absence of being known. And the most painful belief quietly settles in. I don't need validation. I don't need comfort. I shouldn't need anything. But this belief didn't come from truth. It came from survival. And survival isn't the same as living. Healing doesn't begin by fixing yourself. It begins by understanding yourself. For many who grew up emotionally neglected, the inner question has always been, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel empty? Why do relationships feel distant? Why do I struggle to trust my own emotions? But the moment healing truly starts is when that question changes to, what happened to me? Because children don't lack feelings, they lack mirrors. When emotions are ignored or dismissed, the child never learns how to recognize them, soothe them, or express them safely. So as adults, feelings arrive like strangers, confusing, overwhelming, sometimes frightening. This is why learning to name emotions is so powerful. Pausing to ask, what am I feeling right now? Writing it down, letting it exist without judgment. It may feel unnatural at first, even wrong. But with time, something shifts. Feelings begin to feel less dangerous, and the silence inside starts to loosen its grip. Yet understanding the wound isn't enough, because the deepest damage of neglect was never being alone. It was being unseen. Healing from emotional neglect was never meant to happen alone, because the wound was created in the absence of connection, and it can only be healed through connection. For those who grew up this way, trust doesn't come easily. Vulnerability feels unfamiliar. Being honest about needs can trigger guilt, fear, or shame. So healing often begins in small, quiet ways. One person who listens without fixing. One relationship where emotions aren't dismissed. One moment where you're allowed to be fully seen and nothing bad happens. And when others can't show up yet, you begin learning something even more powerful. How to show up for yourself. You comfort your sadness instead of silencing it. You protect your joy instead of minimizing it. You stop abandoning your own inner world. Slowly, the emptiness inside starts to change. Not because your past vanished, but because your present finally holds space for you. The loneliness you felt was never proof that you were broken. It was proof that you were human, wired for connection. And now that you know this, the next chapter isn't about surviving quietly. It's about being fully alive.